No rematch. No rematch. I'm most definitely screaming no rematch for Bud and Spence, man. Why? Because it's hard a lot of the times to repackage something like this and try and sell it to the public. This wasn't the classic that I was hoping for, that most of us was hoping for. We wanted a really, really good fight. We wanted a fight like Spence kept saying over and over again, the Hagler Hearns, the Sugar Ray. We wanted that nostalgic feel in this fight. And it just wasn't that, right? This was a one-sided ass whipping, bro. Bottom line, this was a beat down. It was the crucifixion of Earl Spence. And you're gonna lose interest in a rematch when it's just such a one-sided beatdown. The numbers more than likely won't be the same. The interest is more than likely not going to be the same. I'm almost positive the guaranteed money won't be the same for the rematch because of the way Earl Spence lost. And that's not, I'm not knocking no, I'm just saying this is the way that it is. Now, fortunately for Earl Spence, there was a bi-directional rematch clause. So if he do want that smoke again, he can do it. And maybe it makes it more intriguing if they are, or if Bud is willing to actually do it at 154. Maybe that makes it more intriguing if they could get that done. But if they can, and I think Spence thinks about it and not make the same mistake I feel like Kambosos did with Devin Haney and go for an immediate rematch, when I just don't believe 2-3 months is enough to change what you need to fix in order to make it a competitive fight against Bud Crawford. And for Errol Spence, I'm not sure that he just has a deep enough bag to do anything about it anyway. I'm just being real. I'm not throwing stones here. I don't want the Spence fans to be on my head because it's not. I'm just giving you, my opinion. Right now, I know most of y'all feel like Spence can change and he can do these and he can do. Listen. That's a big mountain to climb to fix what he needs to fix to make this a competitive fight. Because you got to understand that this shit was a wash, bro. It was a wash, and for real, it was damn near hard to look at, bro. It was really hard for a lot of people to look at. But for Bud, if that doesn't happen, right? If they do decide to move on from this fight, which I wouldn't be mad at for Spence, go to 154, start it, do what you're going to do there. Leave Bud the hell alone. For Bud, it make a lot of sense to stay around at 147 and defend. And also I think he can, at this point in time, he can move up from 147 to 154 easily. But who's out there? You're looking at a Jermell Charlo. He's caught up with Canelo, of course. Can't turn down that payday. He locked in, of course. And it's crazy to think that if they could get that done, that would be Bud going after his third undisputed in a different weight class. That's crazy. Like, you got to let that sit in, because after this Canelo fight, that probably could potentially get done. As Jermell says, listen, I'm not done with 154. And of course, Crawford is eyeballing that third undisputed. That's surreal. You got a Tim Tszyu, maybe. A lot of people don't know Tim Tszyu. Not a big money fight for Bud in terms of putting asses in the seats. Now, if he was able to do it in Australia, maybe. But in the States, not so much. I don't believe so. And listen, I'm a huge Tim Tszyu fan. Shout out my Australian supporters. I think that would be a good fight, but I do think Tim Tszyu has the same issue as Earl Spence when it comes to the footwork. So it would be interesting to see. You got you got a Keith Thurman out there. I think this is somebody who Bud has always wanted to face. These are some of the guys he's always wanted to face. over the last several years. So that would be a big opportunity. I do believe, with Keith Thurman sounding like a wrestling promo every time he talks, he helps sells fights. And I think he still has a decent fan base to make a really good fight with Bud Crawford. So I think that's a really good option. But for the same reasons I mentioned about Tim Tszyu, with whom I would love to see him fight next, and the Jerron Boots Ennis, it's about that bread. It's about that money. I would love for Bud to fight Boots next, because I truly believe Boots is the future. And I'm going to go out. I ain't riding no fence on this one. Now, I rode the fence on the Bud Spence. Older gentleman, 33, 35. I've always felt like that was a 50-50 fight. I told you guys I was leaning towards Bud because of certain things, experience, etc. But in this one, if it is a Bud versus Boots, and even though I've picked Crawford to win pretty much every single fight since I knew who he was, talking about 8-9 years ago, man, I would have to go with Boots, bro. Let me have it in the comment section. I want to hear it. But I take Boots in that fight, bro. Yeah, I would take Boots in that fight. I really do. I think Boots is special. Of course, Bud Crawford is special. I think they could give us the classic fight that we all would really want to see. Youth, size versus experience. Both big punches. Bud, while Bud's still halfway in his prime. Oh man, that would be a dope fight, and I would definitely lean towards Boots. And for y'all, I'm basically betting 1,000 outside of the Inoue Fulton fight. I'm betting 1,000. Fulton fucked my perfect record up this year. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments section, man. No rematch. Who you want to see Bud Crawford fight next? Big T.O. Heavy Bag. I'm out of here. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about boxing.